Well, it's here, finally here. This is a week we all look forward to. Rivalry week all across the country. If you're a college football fan, this is always a special week. Truly, the whole week. It's always something fun to be a part of, and something I certainly appreciate and don't take for granted. And I've been a part of a lot of these. I guess this is my 20th one of these, and 13 Alabama-Auburn games. So, a lot of fun to be a part of, games like this that really matter to so many people. Always tough to head down to Columbia. That's a great environment. Their fans do an awesome job creating a really tough venue to go play. But man, we look forward to the challenge. Got to have a great week of preparation. Obviously, they got some dudes that can really hurt you. Starting with their quarterback, I think he has really played good football for them, and he's a very heck, he played great against us last year, and he's a guy that plays with a lot of confidence. He can do a lot of things with his legs and his arms. Seems like every week I'm looking up, I'm seeing some quarterback's going to play in the NFL, like every single week. That's what we look at, and he's no different. So just another great quarterback, man, that presents a huge challenge for us. And he's got good receivers. The 24's really settled in and become a really hard-nosed, tough-to-tackle back for them. They've gotten some continuity up front. They're a little bit like us in that regard. They've had some kind of musical chairs a little bit with guys being in and out of the lineup or hurt, whatever, and so they've kind of created a little bit of continuity there. Tight end's a good player. They've got that number 8 going. He's kind of an interesting guy. He's a big, young athlete that I think's got a bright future. He's kind of been getting in the mix as well. But 17 is, he's a superstar. And again, it seems like every week I look up and there's some freak outside that we're seeing. So great quarterbacks. We've seen a bunch of them. So they certainly present a lot of challenges there. And then defensively, this is a tough group, man. We've seen a bunch of these guys, and they've got a couple guys that have had all-conference, all-American status at safety. I think their linebacker, I think the nickel kid is a 24. Their nickel guy, he's a good football player, young guy, but a really good player. Got good experience in the linebacker core, and some of these guys that have been there forever up front. They played a bunch of snaps, throughout their career. So definitely a group that will be excited to play the Tigers. And again, rivalry games. Doesn't really matter what you've done. Last year, last 10 years, last week. Doesn't really matter. It just comes down to playing well in these 4 quarters. But looking forward to it. Off to a good start with our preparation, and obviously this is a different week from a preparation standpoint. It is Thanksgiving. We certainly try to take time to make sure that we celebrate that. Give these guys some time with their families and things. But hope you all have a great Thanksgiving as well. And we regardless of what happens on the scoreboard Saturday night, whether you're a Tiger or a Gamecock, we got a lot to be thankful for, all of us, that we have the privilege to be able to just, go participate in a game like this. There's certainly a lot of things going on in our world, and, we can't ever lose sight of how fortunate and how blessed we are to be able to, have pause, if you will, and celebrate a game, and compete, and it's important for this state. So excited to be a part of it. Look forward to heading down there on Friday and seeing if we can play our best game.
Coach, I expect your birthday was probably pretty good yesterday, coming off 3 big wins.
Well, I planned on holding off till this weekend. You know, it's kind of birthday week. All I want is a win this week. That's what I want. It's been busy, you know. I mean, Sundays are, it doesn't matter if you got a birthday or not. Sundays are Sundays and Mondays are Mondays. Whether your birthday is Sunday or Monday, it doesn't matter. So just a lot of work. Got home last night, you know, about 11 o'clock. So, you know, but Kath was waiting up for me and had some cards and a couple gifts, and came into the radio show last night and they had a carrot cake and some food there. So, you know, we'll celebrate later. Right now it's about trying to find a way to win a game. That's all we're trying to do. But it was a good day, and, you know, did get a chance to communicate with a bunch of people via text.
Yeah, Gamecocks deprived you of a bowl last season with that 1-point comeback win. You have a chance to deprive them, or deprive you of a playoff maybe. You have a chance to deprive them of a bowl. Does that add any juice to it, or is it already juiced up as much as it can be?
Oh man, it's always juiced up, regardless of what the ramifications are. I mean, you know, it's always a big deal every single year. I mean, really is. I mean, you want to win this game, whether you're 0-12, 0-11, or 11-0. You know, you want to win the game. So, yeah, I mean, that hurt us last year for sure, and we got what we earned.
How was Will Collins yesterday?
Sore. Sore.
How's Antonio looking? I know you wanted to get him in this week and see.
Yeah, he's close, but you know, he's still in that day-to-day status for us.
Is Bo practicing this week, or?
Probably not, but we'll see today. You know, I mean, he was just really sore yesterday. I mean, he's going to be fine, but just had I don't even know if that's a tendon or muscle or whatever that is, ripping his foot. So he's kind of tender.
Stellato, okay.
Yeah.
Coach, you've been going for a lot of fourth downs lately, and I'm sure that's, you know, a product of field position, and I'm sure that struggling in a kicking game also been a factor. But how much easier does it make those decisions having a defense like you do that can bail you out if you don't get it?
That's a factor for sure. You know, sometimes there's a lot of things that go into those decisions. Obviously, field position and you know, confidence in your offense, your quarterback, and making right decisions and those things, but also who your defense is, or maybe who the other team's offense is. You know, I've been in those situations too, where you know you don't want to get them the ball back, and so that was a plus for us the other night, being able to have them. You know, a lot of times time possession, I don't really pay much attention to it, honestly. I mean, sometimes it's a real factor, but if you're scoring fast, you don't really care, right? But when you play a team like North Carolina, to be able to keep the ball for 38 minutes, it's huge. I think we got the ball with a minute. It was a minute 14 or a minute 12. I think we ran about 12 plays with no timeouts. That might be a record. You know, so. You know, to be able to keep the ball away from them was huge for us in that game. But you know, so sometimes it's time of possession, sometimes it's who the other offense is, sometimes it's your confidence in your defense, or just your confidence in how you're playing offensively.
With Rattler, it seems like some of their biggest plays, he's not a guy that's going to run for 100 on you, but happen when he's flushed, buys time and then finds the gap or somebody down the field.
Yeah, they do a good job of, you know, he doesn't just sit in the pocket very often. I mean, it's you know, swap boots, setting edges. You know, they got tight ends in there all the time, creating edges for him to get outside the pocket to extend time, and then he's an explosive player. I mean, he's if you give him time, he's incredibly accurate. He can make all the throws, but when he gets out of the pocket, you know, and he doesn't get enough credit for his running ability. He can run. He can really run. He's crafty when he runs. He's a smart runner. He does a good job protecting himself. But he can go. But you know, the thing is, like I said, they're smart. They don't just leave him in the pocket. You know, I mean, they'll max protect, and give him time and let some of these they run a lot of deep shot, cross country, post, backside, deep crossers. They run a lot of those type of plays, and those things take time. So they will max protect, or they will boot him and get him outside the pocket to allow those type of things to develop, and then he can throw it on the run, or he can pull up and let it go. So I think he's a very good player. I think he's played really well. I mean, he's made good decisions, and he does create a problem for you, with his legs and his arm. Similar to Drake, who we just played. I mean, he can extend, and that's what happened on the big touchdown the other night, the first one. I mean, we didn't do a good job of containing outside. He buys time. We got pressure coming. I think it was Woodaz was bearing down, and he's just drifting, and next thing you know, he just over the top of you, and he's accurate. And I think Rattler's a lot like that.
You remember your evaluation of Xavier Legette when he was at Mullins, and just how he has developed in his time to reach the level he's reached?
Yeah, I don't remember like specific evaluation at the time, him coming out of high school, but I think he's he's developed incredibly well. I think he's going to be a big time pro, and he's a great reminder to everybody that this is a developmental game. I mean, that's just the way it is. Everybody wants, and that's what I hate about this world we operate in now, in the world of college athletics. It should not be that way, but with the way the intensity of recruiting, and everybody's just knows everything and talks about everything and evaluates and scrutinizes everything. If kids aren't great players as freshmen, it's like they stink, and it's such a bad mindset. I mean, it really is. I mean, there's very few quarterbacks. I mean, that's the same thing like at the quarterback position. If a guy doesn't play as a freshman, it's like, there's not many Trevor Lawrences or Deshaun's on the planet. There's just not. If you look at the 32, if you looked at the 64 NFL quarterbacks, whoever the first and second guys, I guarantee you very few of them started as freshmen in college. Very few. In fact, the guy for the Raiders was a walk-on at Purdue, I think. He was a walk-on. Now he's starting for the Raiders. This is a developmental game, especially in football. I mean, it's not just skill. Like some of these